Never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Anywhere. I never implied it, I never said it, I only ever said I didn't do
Never said she was a writer on it. Never implied it. Only ever said she didn't do crap.
I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. I
was just about to say it, but then I stopped myself.
I have
was
written
going to
on it.
ask.
Let's hear that again.
I have written on it.
Couple more times.
I have written on it.
Ask.
She said it. She said it. She said it. She literally said she wrote on it. And then she privates the video so now she can go back and rewrite history and say, I never said this. I'm calling it here. I'm calling it today. She is Creator Clash's new Anisa Joma. She is putting on the crown, dude. So like we just went over in the last segment, we were talking about Creator Clash 3 a little bit, and Alanah Pearce ended up being a huge role in Creator Clash 3 and how the stuff we just covered. Okay. She's a huge part of that event now. And there's a channel that I enjoy, Harmful Opinions. And you may notice that I've already watched one of these videos. I don't remember what it's about, to be fair. But Alanah Pearce is up this guy's ass. No, this guy's up Alanah Pearce's ass so far in the past 2 weeks. Harmful Opinions has posted 1, 2, 3, 4 videos on Alanah Pearce. I don't even remember what this is about. So I plan on reacting to all these videos, some of these being as short as 3 minutes, and seeing if Harmful Opinions here is taking things a little bit too far, or if there really is such a continuation in misdeeds from Alanah Pearce that we need 4 videos in 2 weeks about it, which I've already gone over a little bit in this stream. I don't particularly like Alanah Pearce. I think she's a bit of a snake. She tends to exaggerate her accolades a little bit and lie. But yeah, the new stuff, I don't know what this is about. So this is relatively fresh stuff from Harmful Opinions. Let's check it out. Alanah Pearce, everybody. Let's see what she did.
I would like to make a very humble, polite, and simple request of Alanah Pearce. In the recent video of hers I just watched, she shared a clip from an old video of hers. The old video is from September 16th, 2022, and it is private. She showed that it's now called Q&A, Am I Excited for People to Play God of War? And archives show that most of the people who saw it were shown the
This is the shit she does. Like, she's like she like plays games, and if she gets called out the wrong way, she'll private a video. Like that's the problem. It's like, oh, you just hate women, you're sexist, dude, you hate girls. No, it's just this person is like so clearly a snake, and they would so desperately like you to see it otherwise.
Title Q&A, What It's Like to Work on.
And it's not that you're not allowed to the private a video, but I think I do know a little bit about this drama. We'll let him explain
God of War. My simple request is this. Alanah, would you please kindly unprivate that video? I ask because in this new video of yours, you say,
I never claimed anywhere to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. I claimed to be a writer at Santa Monica Studio, but they are accusing me of specifically lying about being a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Again, a thing I never said. In fact, I have some clips, and there were a lot of these, by the way.
You just know she's going to eat shit on this.
Just pulled a few.
And one of those clips that she says supports the claim that she has never said she was a writer on Ragnarok is pulled from the aforementioned private video. Let's take a look at it.
It's just, you're in for a ride. And I say that as someone who still largely feels like a bystander. I did very little work on this game. Yeah, the reception has been absolutely wonderful and so nice to watch, more on behalf of the people I work with than on behalf of me, again, who I didn't do shit.
Ah, so humble. Very nice. But some things bother me. See, I came across an interesting Twitter thread. Let me read it for you. October 7th, 2022, Alanah responds to a post that is now deleted. She says, I joined the studio in 2020 and I worked on the game.
What was the point of showing me the deleted video? The privated video.
See, I came across an interesting Twitter thread. Let me read it for you. October 7th, 2022.
Hold on.
Me, again, who I didn't.
So the whole point going into this is she claimed that she never said that she was a writer on God of War Ragnarok. And then Harmful Opinions has an issue with this video being privated because it's in relation to that somehow. What did she say? What the fuck did I miss?
From the aforementioned private video. Let's take a look at it.
It's just, You're in for a ride. And I say that as someone who still largely feels like a bystander. I did very little work on this game. Yeah, the reception
She says I did very little work on the game.
has been absolutely wonderful and so nice to watch, you know, more on behalf of the people I work with than on behalf of me, again, who I didn't do shit.
Ah, so humble.
Yeah, she is being humble, all right.
Very nice, but some things bother me. See, I came across an interesting Twitter thread. Let me read it for you. October 7th, 2022, Alanah responds to a post that is now deleted. She says, I joined the studio in 2020 and I worked on the game.
Oh, she literally says on Twitter that she worked on the game.
I have no idea why y'all would assume this to be a negative, especially when I have always been an enormous God of War fan, but it is what it is. OP responds,
This is what I'm saying about her. She's such a fucking snake, dude. She just lies. She greatly over exaggerates her accolades. Like, it's like lying on a resume, but like all the time. And when you don't need to. It's like compulsive lying.
Chill out, you're in the internet. It's really usual for people to assume your particular role would affect negatively on their most beloved game. Don't take it personally, this happens in every entertainment medium. She responds, Lamau. OP says, I take it that you're not upset about our subjective concerns. She responds, no, I'm not upset, but I do think a defense of, it's completely normal for people to be upset that a writer who is a fan of this series is writing on this series is funny. OP responds, alright, one way or another I will know your specific role when the game came out, I'll apologize only then, but for now being a fan isn't assuring my worry for one of my most anticipated beloved game, respect to you and all the devs. Alanah responds, you have no reason to worry that a trained professional writer would be—
Oh my god, dude, these people just don't shut up, dude. Like, look, this is her like blowing her, like, we were seeing that in the Creator Clash segment we went over tonight. She is like so about her, dude. That's what's so annoying, dude. It's like, at what point is it lying? Or is at what point does she play mental gymnastics that she believes her own bullshit? Like, I was a writer on the game. See, like she literally said it. I was a writer on the game. And then when she gets called out on it and it's bullshit, then she like deletes posts and privates videos and tries to rewrite history so she can say, I never said I was a writer on the game. You literally fucking did. And now you're over here going even further, talking about how you're a trained professional writer writing on a game, but the game you're talking about is God of War Ragnarok. So, I mean, obviously you're implying that you wrote on the game. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. You're lying. And you're not just lying by accident that you forgot you said this shit. You are actively deleting these posts. You are actively privating videos to delete the evidence that proves that you are lying.
Writing on a game. That's not at all normal / definitely not something that happens in every entertainment mediums. Don't feign respect where there is none, but thanks anyway. OP says, as a fan, it's my right to worry, even on veteran writers, that they maybe lost their touch over time. Worrying on the game's performance, especially these times, is reasonable. Going in fans mentions and consider their worry as an attack is unprofessional, Miss Professional Writer. Alanah shoots back, you quote tweeted me, aka mentioned me. I didn't come to you unprompted, but that's
fair. That's fair. That's fair. Motherfuckers be replying to tweets and dropping comments on videos, and then when the person responds to them, they're all like, whoa, because people just think they can say whatever the fuck they want. I'm with Alanah on the first sentence there. I mean, she's lying about shit, and just, obviously she's the shithead here overall. But yeah, this guy comes for some fucking smoke, and then Alanah responds. That's fair. The problem is in Alanah's response, she's like lying about shit. Like just for the sake of like clout. I don't know.
That's fair, though it means you should also be tweeting all the other writers with the same concerns and not just singling me out for no reason. Now, I'm not a professional writer and she didn't literally say the words, I'm a writer for Ragnarok, but sounds to me like she's saying here, she was a writer on it. And what's even more interesting than that is that—
like obviously. I have to completely agree with that. Well, no, what do you fucking mean? Wait, he's even wrong. He's being too objective. The whole drama was over this game and her being a writer on it. That's like what the whole post is. I joined the studio in 2020 and I worked on the game. She lied. Well, wait, no, I'm fucking full of shit. Fuck. I gotta backtrack. Okay, she says she works on the game. She didn't say that she was a writer on the game. Well, she says she works on the game, and the whole thing is that she's saying she's a writer. I don't know. I guess it does get fishy here. She says that she's a... Okay. To be fair, she does say that she's a writer. And she... No, she didn't lie about working on God of War. She didn't really lie about anything. She didn't really lie about anything. She says that she's a writer. She is. And she says that she worked on the game. Which she did. What she is saying in her new content is that she never wrote on the game, and people are saying that she did, which is objectively true. All right, maybe there's more, though. We're not done. We got to see what Harmful Opinions has to say.
It's definitely not something that happens in every entertainment mediums. Don't feign respect where there is none, but thanks.
She does keep bringing up, though, that she's a writer. Wait, you have no reason to worry that a trained professional writer would be writing on a game. All right, well that... Okay. Okay, she keeps saying that she worked on the game. She keeps saying that she's a writer. The criticism is that this guy is worried about her working on the game. Her response is, you have no reason to worry that a trained professional writer would be writing on a game. She's obviously referring to herself and his concern that she would be writing on the game. Although she never is specifically saying that she is writing on the game, I would argue that it is heavily implied. You all can make your own judgments on that.
Anyway.
But she's technically not lying. I've overstepped my bounds by calling her a liar in this particular instance.
OP says, as a fan, it's my right to worry, even on veteran writers, that they maybe lost their touch over time. Worrying on the game's performance, especially these times, is reasonable. Going in, fans mentions and consider their worry as an attack is unprofessional, Miss Professional Writer.
This is soy. This guy's being soy.
Alanah shoots.
And he started this, to be fair.
It's back. You quote tweeted me, aka mentioned me. I didn't come to you unprompted.
Bagel, congratulations. You are now the second on the leaderboard for chatters in my chat tonight. You have taken over Lucky86. Now you just have to take out Jar Juice. Good luck.
But that's fair, though it means you should also be tweeting all the other writers with the same concern.
Oh, well, like, dude, it is like so, okay. She is never specifically saying the words that I wrote for this game, but it is heavily, heavily implied in my personal, humble opinion. Y'all can judge for yourselves.
And not just singling me out for no reason. Now, I'm not a professional writer, and she didn't literally say the words, I'm a writer for Ragnarok, but sounds to me like she's saying here, she was a writer on it. And what's even more interesting than that is that prior to the deleted comment she initially
It's heavily implied.
responded to, someone posted a URL, which as you've seen I plugged into the Wayback Machine, and it turns out, hey, that's the link to one of the private videos she quoted. And most people who saw it...
Yeah, but that's the other thing. Exactly. She's like privating videos and shit. She's like covering shit up. Like, that's the snakiness.
saw the title as...
Goes through, deletes all the tweets and videos that could implicate her that she can remember to proudly be able to make the statement of, I never said this. Like, it's the snakiness. It's the behaviors that she tries to hide. Like, that's the issue that people have with Alanah Pearce.
What it's like to work on God of War. And another really cool trick knowing the URL enables me to do is to look up the archive of its transcript, which turned out to be available on a tool I like to use a lot. According to this archive, in a video titled, What It's Like to Work on God of War, you answered the question, what do you actually do? Are you writing story, lore, dialogue, etc.? By saying, I get asked this a lot, so I figured I would answer it, even though I've kind of paraphrased that question. The writers on my team write everything. We all write everything, with the
we all write everything.
exception of, like, there are things that I'm better at writing and things that I'm not.
There are things. Yeah, so she's saying she's a writer. No. She is saying she's a writer here. She is saying she's a writer here. I'm fucking sorry. And she knew that, and that's why she went back and privated this video and deleted all the tweets before she came out with this new video where she proudly and confidently explains, I never said I was a writer. All right. What are you saying here? What are you saying here?
Not good at writing romance, so like if something romantic existed, I would pass on it. I'd be like, hey, probably this person is better at writing this, so they should write that. You just like play to the team's strengths. In case of my team, we all write everything. And that is similar in my experience to every other game studio.
We all write everything. What is your role on the team? That is the question. Well, in my team of writers, we all write everything. We write this. She's saying she's a writer. She's saying she's a writer for this fucking game.
That I have been involved.
And then she privates the video, so now she can go back and rewrite history and say, I never said this. You never said those words specifically in order. You said everything but. Like
maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm crazy. Answering that question that way in a video you titled, What It's Like to Work on God of War, sounds to me like you're saying you wrote on God of War.
That is a completely reasonable. That's my takeaway.
To another question, she stated again, what she does is write games. Again, I remind you, this was in a video titled What It's Like to Work on God of War, which was a Q&A session that was spurred on by and dropped 3 days after the Ragnarok story trailer dropping. And on top of this, less than a month later, as I showed you earlier, she was on Twitter defending her role as a writer to some random guy, specifically with regard to God of War Ragnarok.
I never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Anyway, I never implied it. I never said it.
You definitely implied it. Come on. You can't even go back and say I can understand why you would think that. You have to be like, no, I never said it. I never said anything like it. You did. You did. And you know you did. That's why you went back and privated all your shit, because you're a fucking snake, and that's why people don't like you.
I only ever said I didn't do shit.
So, if the transcript is wrong, if I've misunderstood, would you please unprivate that video? And if I can be a real pain, may I ask that you revert its title to what it was before you privated it? You know, the one that 99% of people saw it with, and that really, really makes it look like you were saying you wrote on Ragnarok.
I understand that if you don't really watch my content and you haven't seen those clips, and obviously content creators who are trying to lie about telling you that I said I wrote on this game and not showing.
Trying to lie about saying to you that I wrote on this game after everything that's just got laid out for us, for her to have the balls to say that. And it was malicious. It is malicious. Because there's a reason she went back and deleted those tweets and privated those videos. For her to be able to come back and say, these people are lying about what I said. Don't bother going back and checking, because I got rid of it all. I got rid of all the evidence. Take my word though. I privated those videos because my makeup was wrong that day. It totally wasn't that I fucking was saying the things that I'm trying to tell you I didn't say right now. Is this that situational disability person? It is the situational disability person.
Showing you these clips because it doesn't suit their story.
Sorry, Alanah. This doesn't really hit when you're trying to show people select snippets of evidence from videos you've privated. Snippets of evidence that, by the way, are just you being humble. Oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't do jack all. Making those sleds is so incredible. You know, being nice, knowing your place, downplaying what you did compared to other people. But in the archived transcript of that video, there seems to be a snippet that you didn't include for some reason. It's very cool to have, you know, done enough work to be in the credits. It's I think the third AAA game that I have a credit in, but definitely the one that I had the biggest hand in. So who's not showing who stuff because it doesn't fit the story? By the way, I have no idea why this matters. I haven't watched the videos attacking her. I just started watching her video about the controversy, and she came off really slimy, so I checked. Only took a couple minutes, and I'm not going to bother looking for more, because who knows what else she's more successfully hidden, deleted, or privated, given what we now know of her MO. You know, challenging people to find her saying something when, regardless of the original reason, she knows most of her videos are private, using little snippets from stuff that you can't check. Embarrassing. In this video.
Damn, that was pretty fucking good. But it doesn't end there. There's more. This guy just literally has posted 4 Alanah Pearce videos in the past 2 weeks. So do we just expand on that? Well, now I feel the need to really go over all this because I've shit on her so much. I don't want to look like a raging sexist. I need people to understand that I have legitimate reasons for not liking her. This one it says I already watched.
I have to make a special thank you to Alanah Pearce. I'm sure it wasn't directly because of my video.
We are going to watch the rest of the videos 100%. But this is it. And you're going to start seeing more about Alanah Pearce too now, with her being like, she's the new Anisa Joma, baby. She's the new Anisa of Creator Clash, dude. I hope not. I hope not.
Video. I presume she hasn't even seen it. But she did relist the video I asked about. It hasn't been returned to the original title that most viewers would have seen, that I think really cements the idea that the implication is answers related to her.
So props to her, she relisted the video that he was criticizing her for privating. Props to her, we're due. I mean, damn, to be fair.
Her work relate to God of War, because originally the title was What It's Like to Work on God of War, but props for transparency. You know, I think it absolutely does create the implication that she wrote on God of War.
I never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Anyway, I never implied it. I never said it. I only ever...
The first part, I really can't argue with. She never said that explicitly, but I mean, we already went over so much. It was heavily implied, and I would have to argue you think that too, because you went back and swept away all the evidence because you're a fucking slime ball and you knew you were bullshitting.
Never said I didn't do shit.
Obviously, I disagree, but since the video she used as evidence is now available for you to look at for yourself, whatever, I'm cool with that. There is something else, though, that I am extremely not cool with. She used a couple other clips in her video to support the idea that she never said she wrote on God of War. Now, neither of them actually function as evidence for that. They are just her humbly stating she didn't do much compared to other people because she came in late. That doesn't speak at all to the nature of her work. But that's beside the point, because I found there is a much greater problem with her evidence. You see, I decided to take a much closer look at this clip.
I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. And my pride comes a lot more from...
You see that little cut?
Game a ton.
Not suspicious in and of itself.
Dude, all right, I'm enjoying these videos, and I definitely think he has like legitimate gripes and legitimate things to say that are worth listening to. But the level of fucking investigation that he has Alanah Pearce under, holy shit, dude. He has such a hate boner for Alanah Pearce, dude. It's kind of crazy.
If you watch one of my stream highlights, you'll see a million hard cuts like that. But I don't think that cut was there in the original upload. See, there's a website I like to use a lot that rips transcripts and metadata from YouTube videos to make them more easily searchable. Now, currently, the video Alanah ripped a clip from has 60k views. But it seems like Filmart.com pulled all the info from it back when it had 56.7k views. And something very interesting happens when you try to play the current version of the video alongside the transcript that Filmart ripped. It desyncs. And where exactly does it desync?
Game a ton.
Let me show you.
So I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. And my pride comes a lot more from, like, I'm a part of the studio.
Which means whatever she originally said after the word ton in that video has been removed afterwards in YouTube's editor, after at least 56,000 people saw the original version. So what did Alanah cut out? Here's the transcript of what seems to be the erased section. The automated transcript has obviously fumbled certain words, but that always happens and we'll get the idea. I didn't work on this game a ton. I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I haven't gone asked, but yeah, like sorry, I never really remember what's the works on it. I am allowed to say that I worked on the accessibility stuff, which I did. Like I pitched and helped iterate some literal features of the game, some gameplay mechanics. For writing, I think I'm allowed to say, I'm not allowed to say what I can say, I wrote some of my supportive content.
Oh, she said she wrote on the game, there it is, dude. Wow, and she went out of her way. She's so meticulously going back to try to rewrite history. She didn't drop the whole video. She didn't private the whole video. She literally just clipped the part out where she literally says she did writing on the game. This is why I don't like Alanah Pearce. It's not because she's a girl. It's because she's like such a fucking slime ball. Will lie to you directly to your face with a smile on hers. Like this is malicious. She's going back and deleting videos, deleting Twitter posts that like contradict what she's saying, and she's saying it to you. She's lying to you with such confidence, like, oh my god. And then she's calling other people liars for pointing out the shit that she said. What a fucking snake. And now this is the new Anisa. This is going to be the new Anisa on Creator Clash. Now she's one of the faces of Creator Clash. How does she manage to keep slipping her way through her lies and manipulation into these roles, dude?
I'm not allowed to say what. After that, there's a brief exchange where it's not clear who's saying what, but it looks like a bit of the old, oops, haha, yeah, I just mean I wrote the sliders, haha. Let's get away from this subject.
Yeah, because she wants to say she wrote so badly, and she implies it so heavily, but she probably didn't. She probably didn't, and she's admitted as much, right? But just look at the way she's like, she like wants so badly to imply it, and then she like kind of has to like laugh it off and backtrack it before this became a huge drama. Now she's going back and just deleting these sections out of these videos.
Which obviously isn't the stuff she can't tell you about. So, sure sounds to me like that's her stating she wrote for the game, but...
No, absolutely, absolutely. You can disagree, I guess, but no! How do you disagree with that? She's literally saying, like, I wrote on the game. And then she's like, oh, well, I didn't write that much, and I only wrote a little because she's lying. She didn't write on the game. But the point is that she lied in the first. She wants so badly for people to think she wrote in this fucking game.
Can't tell you about it. Maybe it's a very teeny tiny amount, but she absolutely has stated that she did writing on this specific.
Yes, she did. She did. She even went back and deleted the segments of the live stream where she admitted to writing on the game. Like 100%. We just saw that.
Want to see a really cool other piece of evidence that a big chunk was cut out? A video is playing in the background.
I always feel like I have to give the context.
Now that is the God of War reveal trailer. Here's the frame it was on right before the cut in her video. That's about 20 seconds into the reveal trailer. And here's how far her cut skips it ahead.
A ton. And
this is from about 1 minute 10 in the reveal trailer.
I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. And
quick maths, that's a 50-second jump. What a perfect amount of time to say everything that was in the original transcript. Like I said in my previous video, mostly looking into her is going to be a waste of time. And to hide it is a...
So we get more evidence that she's a snake. We get more evidence of her lying. We get more evidence that she's actively going back and trying to cover up evidence that can be used against her so she can continue to call her detractors liars. But there's more, dude. We got fucking 2 more videos. 2 more videos, which we absolutely are going to watch. Because this guy, I don't know, it's almost bordering on like a cringy level of fucking hatred towards her, but he does such a good job of uncovering like these little things that she thinks that she did such a good job of covering up. It's so fucking good to watch.
Just a quickie, but...
So what did Alanah do now? We're on a third Alanah Pearce video from this guy. It's just getting worse and worse for her with every fucking video, man.
Because there's not much to say, but huge shout out to Nobody on YouTube. He saw my last video about Alanah Pearce's lies and cover-up and decided to dig for himself, and he found something very interesting. I discovered that a piece had been clipped out of her YouTube upload of a podcast episode. I also found the auto transcript where it kinda sounds like she's saying she wrote on the game. Nobody very wisely decided to check if the podcast was uploaded anywhere else. And it was. And she didn't clip out that section there. And she says more than was in the auto transcript I found.
Oh shit,
just as a refresher, here's the line.
I need to hear her say that she wrote on the game. Like those words. Because that will just like, dude, like, oh, that would just be so perfect. For like, because you already can tell that she feels she's lying. She is deleting evidence. She is going back and like trying to rewrite history. But how bad was it really? What did she say, dude?
Lie.
Never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Anyway, I never implied it. I never said it. I only ever said I didn't do shit.
Never said she was a writer on it. Never implied it. Only ever said she didn't do crap. And one of the pieces of evidence she provides us with to say that's the truth is this.
So I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton.
But as I showed in my previous video, something has been cut out of that after she says the word ton. And she didn't just cut it out for the clip, it is cut out of the video she's recording. She removed it using the YouTube editor. Why would she do that? Let's have a listen to what was originally there. Credit to Nobody for finding this.
So I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. I
was just about to say it, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask.
Let's hear that again.
I have written on it.
Couple more times.
I have written on it.
She said it. She said it. She said it. She literally said she wrote on it. Do you hear that? Oh my. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. She fucking lied. What a fucking snake, dude. Dude, Anisa Joma #2, bro. She is going to be, I'm calling it here. I'm calling it today. She is Creator Clash's new Anisa Joma. She is putting on the crown, dude. Oh my God. Get fucked. Get fucked, dude. Get obliterated. This is amazing.
I have written on it.
She said, I didn't work on this game a ton, and then the next words out of her mouth were, I have written on it. The clip she used to show us that she would have never said that is a clip she manually cut her.
This is why I hate Alanah Pearce. This is why I don't like Alanah Pearce. If you've watched my Creator Clash coverage, if you've watched me cover this, oh, he just hates her because she's a woman. No, I don't like her because she's a lying, manipulative slime ball of fucking snake, dude. Okay, she's awful, and they need to get her away from Creator Clash because she is gonna fuck up that event if they let her take any more presence over that event, bro. I'm calling it now, dude. All of the Anisa Joma hate rooting Creator Clash video shit. That's gonna be Alanah Pearce, bro.
Self saying it out of. The quote of her saying, I have written on it, was in that video until recently. We know because it's in the archived auto transcript. We know because there are comments from 2 years ago quoting parts from the larger chunk she cut out around it. This quote isn't in the video anymore, but it used to be, and it's in the podcast uploaded elsewhere. This might be the most blatant, ludicrous lying I have ever seen on YouTube.
He fucking hates her so much, dude. It's so funny.
Why the hell would you even use that clip? Do you get off on it? Does it feel good to mess with people? To rub in the world's face exactly where you said the thing you're lying about not saying, just with it snipped out sneakily. That is like lying for lying's sake. That is sick.
This is how I got accused of lying about writing on a game that I never claimed to write on. While I
100,000,000,000% lying, and she fucking knows it.
I was actively employed at a studio. Like, did you think that I would lie about writing on something while I still worked there? Like, why would...
That is what liars do. Liars do that. That is the number one in your life. In your life, this is how you can tell someone's lying. They'll say shit like that. You'll accuse them of something. You'll accuse them of not washing the dishes or something stupid, and that's how they word it. They go, not wash the dish. Come on, it's me, Joe. Why would I lie to you about not washing the dishes? Like, come on, you know me. That is a liar. That is how a liar talks. That is exactly what it sounds like. Then they think they're being clever. She thinks she's being smart. This is like liar 101. This is like your manager just called you out for not locking up after work correctly. Levels of fucking manipulation.
All of my colleagues could see what I'm saying.
She said all this to, at this point, hundreds of thousands of people, knowing she had just covered up her saying this.
I didn't work on this game a ton. I
was just about to say, but then I stopped myself.
I have written on it.
I'll admit,
Dude.
I don't know why you'd say that, but you did.
Literally straight up lying, bro. Like textbook lying. And not even good at... Why would I do that? Like, really think about it. Why would I say that? That is how liars talk.
And I don't know why you're lying now either. But you have. This isn't a mistake. You didn't slip and fall onto your keyboard and delete that chunk perfectly out of the video. You know, you said it. You know,
yep,
you said exactly what you're saying you didn't say.
Lied.
I agree. It is nutty behavior that doesn't make sense, that a normal human being would not engage in.
Much, dude,
but it
great.
is your behavior. So what does that mean? I thought people were being too harsh calling you a compulsive liar. But as you yourself note, why would you be behaving like this otherwise?
Yeah, dude. This is awesome. Oh my fucking God, dude. Oh, there's one more. I mean, dude, she is like...
When you need someone to...
She's already done. She is already done-ski. Harmful Opinions has already rang her through every... Dude, like, nailed her. Like, straight up, confidently lying and calling others out for lying about things that she absolutely 100% did say that she doesn't want you to think she said.
Originally.
But there's one more video that he posted 10 days ago, and I just cannot possibly imagine how it could possibly get any worse than where it is right now. But I am so excited to find out.
I was ignoring the lies that Alanah Pearce was telling under her video, but she is stacking lies now. She has edited the pinned comment and noted what's an edit and what's original. Problem being, what she says is the original comment is not the original comment.
Dude, and now she's like, she can't just admit that she lied. She has to continue to go back and try to rewrite history, edit things and clip shit out to try to support her narrative. When she is wrong, she has lied. Like every single thing she said in this argument, in this debate, in this drama, in her defense, has been 100% lies.
The actual original, which I presume must have been referring to my first video about her, was unhinged. She claimed in my video that I edited 2 responses together to make them look as though they were both about Ragnarok. But I didn't edit any of them together in any way. I quote.
And now she's doing the other like liar thing, like the dishonest manipulative tactic of like she is wrong. She's been correctly called out for lying. So now that she can't fight back anymore, she has to discredit her detractors so that people that she doesn't want to see this shit don't go see that she is 100% factually a liar and did claim to have wrote on God of War Ragnarok.
Quoted 3 responses and said that combined with the title and other context, I thought it created the implication that you wrote on God of War Ragnarok. Now that you've unprivated the video, in fact, we can objectively see that some of your audience at the time took that inference as well. But let's jump back to her new and insane claims. She wrote, another YouTuber has highlighted a segment of a podcast that I removed because I said the phrase, I haven't written. To me, personally, sounds like you said, I have written on it.
No, she absolutely did. Here, we'll hear it right now.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself.
The problem is she does get a little bit of room to attempt to lie because she's talking over someone else speaking. But, I mean, turn on your fucking ears, people. Listen to what she says.
Took that inference as well. But let's jump back to her new and insane claims. She wrote, another YouTuber has highlighted a segment of a podcast that I removed because I said the phrase, I haven't written. To me, personally, sounds like you said, I have written on it.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but...
Which I believe...
She says, I have written on it. She does not say, I have not written on it. She says, I have written on it. Literally, like, you can't... She's just trying to discredit her detractors so that people don't go back and look at it. Because if you look at it, it's clear as day that she lied.
Believed I was not technically allowed to say. Immediately after saying this phrase, I very clearly scrambled to try to cover for the fact that I didn't think I was allowed to say haven't, by going, sorry, no, I technically, very awkwardly. Alright, let's hear that follow-up.
I was going to ask, but yeah, like, sorry, I never really remember what's the limits.
I have worked on it.
So, no, that's not true. These creators are trying to suggest that I actually said, I have written, not a full sentence.
She would 100% did say that. I mean, open up your fucking ears. Like, I don't like this is where we get to the point where it's like, how do you even argue with it? She's literally just lying and hoping you don't look into it. That is what she's doing.
Sentence / they don't even know what I was going to say after those 3 words, lol. Who the hell was saying that? Again, people think that you said this.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but...
Even though that does not make any sense in the context of this.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but... I was just about to say, but... I was just...
Hold on. Let's slow it down. Maybe I'm crazy. You tell me.
About to say, but then I stopped myself.
I was going to
ask.
I have... Dude, there's no int. There's no int. There's int. There's no... I have written on it. That is what she said. That is what she said, 100%. There is no argument.
But even though that does not make any sense in the context of the sentence, which comes immediately after me, again, very, very clearly saying I didn't do shit, and ends in me scrambling to fix the mistake. You've used the didn't do shit phrasing in other clips. In this one you say you didn't do a ton. Does this response make no sense? Because she hasn't checked which clip people have found, and there are multiple she's hidden. Is this just her guessing which one people found? Maybe. because she edited it again while I was recording this. Here's the new story. Another YouTuber has highlighted a segment of a podcast that I removed because I said the phrase, "I haven't written on it." Again.
She did not say that. She did not say that. And if she genuinely does think that's what she said, then why did she go back and clip that part out? Why did she go back and private a bunch of videos? Why did she go back and delete Twitter? Because she knows she said that. She might have even said it more. There's stuff that she's probably hidden that we haven't found, people haven't found yet. That doesn't even make any sense. If she really thinks she's just lying and hoping that her audience doesn't look into it, instead of arguing with the claims head on, she's simply lying about her detractors in hopes that people don't even bother to look into it. If she truly said, "I haven't written on it," why would she go back and delete that segment out completely? Okay? Like, you'd have nothing to hide. Why would you try to hide it? Why would you delete it? Wouldn't make any sense. It's because you said you worked on the game. It's because you said you did write on. You said you have written on it. That is what you said. You are a liar.
And I'm not hearing that N''T.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but
sorry, I have worked on it. I'm allowed to say I have worked on the accessibility stuff, which I did. For writing, I think I'm allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say what. I can say, I wrote some supportive content. This was removed because I was worried about my NDA, which is pretty clear considering how awkwardly I say it. Everything said in that sentence is also 100% true. Right, so you were terrified about breaking your NDA, but you only hid that part on the unlisted YouTube video and left it in on the public podcasting platforms. But luckily, I just refreshed the page and she's edited it again. I won't read the whole
God, dude, she's literally like
thing, just that
she is actively like changing it over and over and over. Dude, she's such a fucking liar.
This was
she's not even just a liar. She's like a manipulative fucking snake.
Removed because I was worried about my NDA, which is pretty clear considering how awkwardly I say it. I was
this is the new queen of Creator Clash, guys. This is fucking the new Anisa Joma of Creator Clash.
Not allowed to say haven't, which is why I scrambled to try to correct it. What she is telling us, she deleted that snippet because she's afraid someone at Sony would hear this.
I was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but
and you would get clapped for saying haven't, and not even for anything else you said.
That makes no sense. What? Dude, that obviously makes no fucking sense. Why would it be against your NDA to say you didn't do something? That's just a lie.
That is bonkers. Good.
Yeah, there's speculation about if she's like somehow still involved in Creator Clash, but I'll post the VOD at some point, Bagel, if you care to watch me go over it. But I personally believe that they are not lying. Anisa and idubbbz are done. They have retired in shame from Creator Clash, and now the person Alanah Pearce is one of the new spokespeople around the event.
Good thing I pressed F5 again, and she's removed that part. Now it's just a generic statement of concern about the NDA. And she says she tried to scramble to be conscious of the NDA even when working through those sentences. She also added another detail. She said, "I also don't remember when I removed this clip." Lucky for her, I cannot actually tell exactly when it was removed. I know thanks to Archive that it was still in the video when it had 57,000 views though. And I find it hilarious that she's trying to tell us that, oh, she remembered it at some point in time, months and months and months and months after publishing it, randomly, and definitely didn't just remove it when she went to use a clip from it for her latest video. By the way, regardless of whether you believe her or not, it is absolutely insane to use that clip, the one that the ultra controversial.
Yeah, literally, she uses a clip to defend herself that if you play out the full video, it literally is her saying word for word exactly what she said she didn't say. And then when people find that, her response is, "Well, that's not what I said." like people literally find a clip of you saying the thing and you can't argue with it, so you just lie.
NDA violating material has been snipped out of. Simply don't.
The NDA she was violating that said she wasn't allowed to say she didn't do X and Y on the job.
Put it in your video. But hold up a sec, I pressed F5 and it's been updated again. So let's make sure we're reading off the latest patch. There's a suggestion that I said, I have written on it.
I have written on it.
Where I actually said haven't, But that clearly...
She did not say haven't. Open up your fucking ears. She is literally just lying. She's literally just lying. She's like gaslighting. She's attempting to gaslight people into hearing things that didn't happen.
Doesn't make any sense given the context, nor even the way I say it. I disagree. I think it makes perfect sense. There's also a subtle near context.
You're literally being asked about your role in the game. Hey, what did you do in the game? Well, I haven't written on it. That wouldn't make any sense.
Contradiction here. She told us that the way she was saying things was
all fucking manipulative, gaslighting fucking monster,
all messed up because the NDA was running through her mind. Then she appeals to the way she says it being maybe a bit odd, as a sign she couldn't have said what we heard. Which one is it? Plus, we know she was already stumbling on her words before she said that line. Massive pauses before she says it.
So I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. I
was just about to say, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask, but...
I don't understand. Why wouldn't she provide the qualifier that she didn't do a ton of work? And
this is so stupid. It's like, she has actually drug the argument down to the point where we're arguing over what she said, and we have an audio clip of her saying the thing that she claims she didn't say. And she's still insisting on arguing about it to the point where we're like, well, then it would make sense in the context. It's like, this is fucking insane, dude.
Say what kind of work she did.
Perfect. But it's good. It's good that she's not being allowed to get away with the fucking ridiculous lying.
Normal. I'm not hearing that contextual proof that she couldn't have said it. But let's keep going. I imagine. Always good to use your imagination. My sentence was going to be, I didn't work on the game a ton. I haven't written on it, but I did work on accessibility or something, but then I corrected it. Right, so what did you correct it to? Let's listen to the podcast.
Sorry,
I never really remember what's the
So I have worked on it. I am allowed to say that I worked on the accessibility stuff, which I did. Like, I pitched and helped iterate some literal features of the game, some gameplay mechanics.
Okay, so there's the, I have worked on it. I have done accessibility stuff. None of that's a point of contention here. What's next?
For writing... I think I'm allowed to say.
There's at least I'm not allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say what.
I worked on accessibility.
For writing, I'm not allowed to say what.
See,
it just gets worse and worse and worse, dude. She's so obviously fucking lied.
I did. For writing, I'm not allowed to say what. Stinks to me.
It's literally, it's an overused word, but she's literally gaslighting. She's gaslighting. And maliciously hiding the evidence.
Of implication. And if that's meant to correct your supposed earlier statement saying, I haven't written on it, what does that mean you're saying here? You say in your pinned comment, everything said in that sentence is also 100% true. Okay, maybe. I don't care. That's not the problem. The problem is that you've been saying this.
I never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Anyway.
She did claim to be a writer.
I never implied it.
I believe Alanah.
She heavily implied it.
When she says she was worried about her NDA. Just listen to the voice wobble.
I can say, I wrote some supportive content, and I'm not allowed to say what.
However, I do not believe she was worried that she'd get in trouble.
What's up, Dave Jones? Yo, if you comment, you actually can take the leaderboard. Currently, Medium Sized Bagel is in second place. RMV is in first place for the top commenter. All right? Go get him, dude. Spam it. Let's go.
For saying she didn't write on it. I think she was freaking out because she said too much, and the supportive content comment was a panicked ripcord. Essentially, this editing frenzy is her stepping on rakes over and over again. Here's the trap she's in.
She's lying. She's the issue isn't she. The issue totally isn't that she went against the NDA. The issue is that she was publicly lying about her role in the game. And that would have obvious negative ramifications to her professional career.
About this, that my
it's so fucking clear, dude. The gaslighting here is insane.
Are accusing her of bullshitting about is her saying that she never said or even implied that she wrote on Ragnarok. Now, if she said, I have written on it, she's done. So she has to say she didn't say that. She has to say, she said, I haven't written on it. But with that comes another issue. She now has to explain why, having said, I haven't written on it, she'd say,
for writing, I think I'm allowed to say.
There's at least I'm not allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say what.
And she has to explain why she had to delete.
For writing, I'm not allowed to say what. Okay, so you're like that, guys. That is not implying that she wrote in the game. What are you, crazy? What are you, lying about Alanah Pearce? What's wrong with you?
That section to comply with her NDA without saying it's because she said she wrote on God of War. And all of her explanations so far mean she's done. This is her at the very least implying that she wrote on Ragnarok, especially if it's a correction to her having said she didn't. So GG's, idiot. Why don't you try retelling your story a few more times? I'm sure you'll crack
Fucking GG's, idiot. Dude, I love this guy.
it. You are a professional writer after all. By the way, I think the thing I'm truly offended by is her claim that people are pretending to hear her say, I have written
She's such a fucking manipulative, gaslighting monster, dude. Greaseball.
on it, instead of I haven't written on it. It is genuinely what I hear, and I don't think any context means you couldn't have said.
Well, whenever you criticize Alanah Pearce, you're sexist, because it can't just be because she's a lying, manipulative greaseball snake. It clearly has to be just because you hate women.
It.
I have written on it.
That's so good. That was so good. Guys, one of the most underrated channels in all of YouTube.
Guys, I put my hands up.
Harmful Opinions, dude. Harmful Opinions. Check them out, dude. Never watch me again. Just go watch Harmful Opinions. So good, dude. Yeah, so that's Alanah Pearce. That's what's up with Alanah Pearce. And you'll see this, like, she is one of the new Prime people, and I go over that in my previous segment. I don't know if I post that. But yeah, she is one of the Prime talking heads, spokeswomen. She is the spokeswoman now that Anisa has stepped down for Creator Clash 3. And I'm sure when she begins to be criticized, the defense will be what it always has been, and it will be, oh, well, you're criticizing her because you hate women. You're criticizing her for X, Y, and Z. No, it's because she is over and over and over and over again been proven outright to be a manipulative, gaslighting snake of a human being, and she should be kept very, very far away from this event. We already had one of those types of people, aka Anisa. We don't need another one. Thank you very much. What else do we got? I think that's it. Good. It's 11 by me. I'm going to bed. I believe that this VOD will be thoroughly butchered for clips. So stay on the lookout for those. The VODs have been doing really well. I've only posted 2 since I've came back, but they've both done very well for my channel. Have you ever taken a look into the storage units, Dave? Time for watermelon. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. Thanks for coming out. Keep a lookout for the VODs. It'll be great.